This may be the 174th most prepared episode out of 74 episodes. Based on our, I would not say that either. When I was driving home from work a little bit ago, I was like, yeah, I don't know how much Oregon State stuff we'll talk on this episode. And I could just feel the critics being like, so that's different than other episodes. How? I was able to go back and watch some of that epic win against Virginia, but I wasn't able to watch either of the other baseball games, which is maybe why we lost. It's my fault. If you want to blame me?
Neither did I.
Well, how can you watch them?
I'm not going to spend $500 on different streaming services.
Exactly, right. And I had shit happening too, so I just found every video after the fact with the Virginia game. I wasn't watching it live. But to try and be informed. Oh yeah, I think Becky, you might have watched Sunderland Till I Die on Netflix. Great soccer doc. Yeah. When there is one dude who owns Sunderland and called all the fans who watched on streams parasites. Some bro who came in to make a bill off of these fans and it immediately just got all of them to hate him by going to their town and calling them parasites. Yes, I am one of those. Yeah, Flow Baseball. I used to smoke pot with Flow Baseball. Flow is kind of a name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we've all been kind of all over the place. We've got a lot. We do have a lot to get into, but I think we'll probably be all over the place here. Successful senior night for Oregon State women's basketball, which we love to see.
Love it.
Send those ladies out on the high that they deserve.
And we haven't talked a lot about women's basketball this season, but shout out to Scott Rueck and the ladies on the team. The season started out so abysmal, right? And it looked like we had lost everyone on the team. It looked like what it was, and they did not quit. They are.
And I mean, this is a win total across programs, but for Rueck to get individual head coaching win number 600 is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Guys won a lot of basketball games and
he knows what he's doing.
Continues to do so. But yeah, how have you guys been? What's new? I know we're all so goddamn swamped right now with different things, but I'm glad we're here making this space together. And thank you, listener, because you're swamped too, I'm sure. And if you're not,
hopefully we make your swamping more fun by tuning in.
Right. Swamping can be fun.
It absolutely can be.
Hey, I got a question. Do you guys really remember anything about the cartoon Swamp Thing? Or do you just remember it exists?
Nothing.
I know that it exists.
I don't even know that it exists. What was it on?
What? Swamp Thing?
Swamp Thing, no.
I don't know. It's a comic, right?
Yeah, it's a comic, and then it was like a cartoon in the 80s. Dude, it had an epic
Swamp Thing.
Yeah, it was not okay. So it was on it was on TV 1990, 91. Yeah, and he had vines growing around his muscles or something. I used to watch it, but I can't tell you a damn thing about that show. Not one. And it still feels like I know so much. Swamp Thing feels very familiar to me. I feel like I had an action figure of him, but yet I cannot tell you one thing about that show at all.
It's like me and Gumby. I had a Gumby action figure, but I don't.
I remember Gumby.
Gumby.
And it's Orange Horse.
Gumby and Swamp Thing are the two polar opposite green characters of TV shows.
And then Roger Klotz is right in the middle.
Yeah, but he had hair like me.
He did have hair like you.
When it flips through my hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in that in-between phase. I love Doug. Shout out Doug. What a good show Doug was.
Yeah.
But
was anyone green on Doug? Yeah.
Yeah, Roger.
Roger was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Roger Klotz.
Klotz.
Yeah, he was kind of, he was cool. He was kind of a bully, but he was cool. He had the cool hair. He was green.
Leather jacket.
As far as cartoon bullies go, he was on the high end. Nelson and Jimbo. Nelson and Jimbo on The Simpsons were just kind of pure villains, whereas Roger, I feel like you could relate to a little bit. And you like
and orange hair is always a victory.
Yeah, exactly. That that outdid all the green shit. Made him look Irish. He was Irish for sure.
Yeah,
Klotz,
he was Irish.
So we are three very Irish individuals, all with very German last names. So I feel like we'd be friends with Roger Klotz. We're probably all related to Roger Klotz. We are Klotz. Yeah, the Klotz Collective. Yeah, shout out Doug. What a great show.
It was so good. I do have to say, Gumby for me was a show that like made me feel bad.
You felt like bad for Gumby?
Yeah, like or like it made me feel like depressed or like emo. Yeah. Like something about it was just like so boring and dull and like this. Their lives suck, and I don't know. I just remember feeling like the heaviest doldrums watching that show. Maybe because I knew Doug or Swamp Thing was on a different channel, but here I was stuck watching Gumby.
It just stoked the anxiety.
Yeah, there was something about the show. I mean, go back and watch it now, and you're gonna go, "Oh, it makes me feel weird."
I don't think I ever watched. I'm obviously aware of Gumby more so than Swamp Thing, but I don't know what Gumby's voice sounded like. I don't know what the supporting characters were.
Wasn't that like this?
I can't
recall. And it's like
I can't.
He walked around like.
I can't recall any major plot points.
Yeah, he had no like. What do you call it? What's an elbow and a knee? What is that? What would you call that?
Joints.
An elbow
in a joint.
Yeah,
I was thinking hinge, but yeah,
hinge works. This is a little bit. This is a little bit of a thing, and not a bit of a transition.
Maybe I just smoked a hinge,
but Benny, that video that you sent us, where before I even clicked on the video, I just saw your caption. I'm not the only one, and it was some newscaster who couldn't say autumnal.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh, this is the most seen Benny has ever felt." And he's like, when she was like trying to talk about this bush or like these like leaves and how this very picturesque like scene came to be, it was like, it's very optimal. What the fuck is this word?
It's very autumn-like.
It's fall-esque.
It's hella fall.
Right. She clearly didn't listen to that episode of the Belligerent Beavs, because when you first asked what that meant, JP and I at the same time, I think we're both just like, fall shit.
Yeah. I still don't use it because I still don't trust myself that I'm going to say it right.
Optimal.
Autumnal.
I think there's better word choices. There's better word choices.
Yeah.
Well, you can say fall-esque.
Yeah.
Folly.
It's very fall-like.
Folly. Folly also means something different, but I'm happy that you aren't the only one who struggled.
You're not alone
with that. Gumby probably couldn't say
can go smoke a hinge together.
Yeah. Although that could get tricky because you smoke a J, you smoke an H. I feel like people might not
H.
Where's the I?
No, you smoke a J. You smoke a joint. You smoke a J. You smoke a hinge. Can't really say you smoke an H.
Well, you can.
I think that means something else.
I used to dance under the name Smoke an H.
That's your saxophone.
That's my saxophone. Yeah.
Smoke an H.
Yeah. Which means something else, but now we don't know. I'm going to look it up.
Right.
It means smoking
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it means.
Damn it. Do you smoke heroin, though? I guess you can smoke anything, but.
I don't know. Ask Nick Swartzen about his trip if you want to.
I'd like a Geo Metro, huh? I have heroin. Oh man, this episode is really hitting for the section of the Oregon State fan base who wanted to hear references to Nick Swartzen's 2007 stand-up album Party.
We got you.
This is a party.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. You waited a long while for that.
Yeah, 18 years.
Didn't you have another
174
one called, Seriously, Who Farted?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's good too.
I mean, a Minnesota comic, Nick Swartzen.
That's right. Big Vikings fan.
Speaking of Minnesota, anyone watching Love is Blind?
I am watching Love is Blind. I actually got caught up today, and I'd say I've been disappointed in just about every season of Love is Blind since the first season. And yeah, but some of the accents are hilarious, especially Joey's, I'll say.
I don't know their names yet. I only started one episode last night.
Guy with the long hair.
They were, Joey, the guy who described himself as.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking for love over here.
What is he like? I've been described by many as like a golden retriever or something. And
then golden retriever energy.
And I was
like loud shirts.
I was like, dude, yeah. They had the audio like start before they showed the visual of him, and it was like, duh, that people think that you look like or act like a golden retriever.
If a golden retriever was a human, that's what he would look like.
Yeah,
and
if a golden retriever was a human, it absolutely would be from Minnesota.
Yeah,
100%.
Terry, we're surprised though. I know you're, engaged and soon to be married, but we're surprised you didn't even apply.
It was 3 years too late.
Man,
we were.
People have been on there with relationships.
Dude, not to spoiler. Yeah. People, which is hilarious, and people think like, oh, I could hide this, but then it's like, dude, it's reality TV.
It'll be on Netflix.
Right. Immediately after one episode, someone's like, a couple of seasons ago, people were like, oh, I really like Trevor. And someone's like, what the fuck? I was literally dating Trevor during this time.
Yeah.
He said he was going on a trip with his dad and wouldn't have access to his phone. This is bullshit because they take your phone away. Yeah. So you're like completely just, of like beholden to the pods. But yeah, we were official. I think it was really like 3 months after we officially dating that the casting call for Love is Blind Minneapolis went out.
Oh, no way.
Obviously we're not the most Instagram couple, just throwing.
Wow. Hey,
you and Annie don't post that much.
No. I'm saying you guys are an Instagram worthy couple.
I said we're Instagrammable, but yeah, I knew Sam was the one. She might still listen to this. Hi, baby, I love you. The first Valentine's Day when we were a couple, she texted me because we weren't living together yet. I think we're both at work. It was just a random Tuesday, as most Valentine's days are. She texted me, "I love you, but I'm not going to post about it on Instagram." And I was like, I could propose right now, I think.
Yeah.
But we had been together for a bit, and then the casting call went out, and so many people were like, dude, you just missed the opportunity. And I'm like, being on the show looks miserable.
One guy for some reason reminds me of Joe. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's weird.
I have an idea. Yeah.
It's like they're the same person.
Yeah, just sort of that like quieter, confident energy, but like they're both Midwestern, so
yeah, and their like faces look the same. The guy has longer hair than Joe, at least the last I saw, but their faces are very similar.
Joe's pretty short hair, right?
Yeah, he has kind of like a flip thing though, that like makes it like even when it's short, it like kind of looks a little bit longer.
Too bad.
I was watching this show called
bleach his hair before the wedding.
Well, we'll be in Vegas. Maybe you can just bleach it without him knowing.
Yeah, you can get him to go to he'll go to some.
I'll bleach everybody's hair before the wedding, not in Vegas. Before the wedding.
That's a really tame plot line for Hangover 4.
No, I'm not gonna do it in the bachelor party.
Okay.
I might bleach my own hair before the bachelor party.
You should.
It'd be fun.
It's gonna be crazy, Terry.
Your hair or the bachelor party?
Both.
I love how this is like everyone's energy is like, dude, I haven't been to a bachelor party in a while, or like I so need this. This is gonna be awesome, but like we're gonna clearly expend a lot of energy, and then it's gonna be like midnight on night 2, and we're all gonna be like, yeah, we're washed, we're going to bed.
No, we went it wasn't as many people, but we went hard for my bachelor party, which wasn't that long
we
ago.
did.
Well,
we also
what day is
didn't
night 2
stay
in the general scheme of the week?
It'll be Friday night.
It'll be your third night.
Yeah, so then I'm definitely going to bed.
JP. But no, that's what I think it'll be fun. Like the pressure to stay out all night. That's a bygone era for us. Shout out to the youngsters who are still doing it. But
yeah,
when you have your bachelor party when you're 37, The things you value. All right, if you make it to sunrise, then I will personally pay for the breakfast that you won't wake up for the next day.
The breakfast I won't go to sleep for.
Maybe if you go straight to breakfast without going to sleep, I'll be very impressed. I don't think anyone's going to do that.
Be at the Bacchanal?
Sure.
The place where Terry was so hungover that it's like a $90 buffet, and Terry, you don't remember this? It was like the most expensive buffet, and it was like the one thing I wanted to do. Not the one thing, because we were there for the Beaver game, but it was like one of the things I really wanted to do down in Vegas, and we all went, and you were super hungover because it was like your third night there. It was our second night there.
This is just me, you, and Yuri, right?
Yeah, and we go, and they have they have like crab legs, like fucking A-grade sushi, like all this stuff. And you had like a crab leg. And you're like, I don't think I could do it anymore.
I remember this differently.
I don't think you ate that much.
I don't think I ate as much as I wanted to, but I don't think I was worthless.
Did you ever eat
like
more?
You and Skins that one time I brought you to the Champions Club at Target Field.
Oh my God.
All you can eat buffet, and both of you were like, "Okay, I will vomit."
Either of these, I have a question for you guys. Either of those two places that had all you can eat or a buffet or both, or did you eat more food in one sitting at New China Buffet?
I definitely went crazy at Bacchanal in Vegas.
Yeah,
so not New China Buffet.
I can't remember how many New China Buffet experiences I had in Corvallis. Definitely a couple.
What?
It wasn't as frequent with me, but I definitely went, and I definitely made myself sick there, which isn't hard, but yeah, New China Buffet is not.
New China
Buffet probably wasn't in my top 5 most gluttonous buffet experiences in my life, just because I've been to more casino buffets since then. Maybe my biggest regret of college is not going to New China Buffet more.
No, you're fine.
How many casino? You said it's not in your top 5. How many casino buffets have you been to?
More than 5.
Have you?
I usually do like one buffet per Vegas trip, and I've been to other casino buffets as well. I don't know. We could think about this. Did your phone in 2004 just ring? What noise was that?
Yeah, it happens every time now.
Yeah. It's every episode. It's a
Oh, it's a bit.
Yeah.
It's a bit.
Yes, my medicine alarm, or else I'll forget, which I did last time. I forgot to take it last time.
JP, how often did you go to New China Buffet in Corvallis?
I think I went like, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 times. By the end, though, I was literally there for like crab legs, sushi, pudding, and like soft serve. I would just like mound up the soft serve.
I do remember that soft serve machine.
Yeah.
Being classic.
Yeah. I may or may not have, eaten some brownies that made me extra hungry afterwards before
going. Was I there with you this time?
Yeah,
probably.
I think you were.
I think I was.
Yeah. And I just caught on to the soft serve, and I was like, forget all the other food. I'm just having like 8 cones of soft serve.
And eating at a Chinese restaurant. Yes, Benny, you were there. Your presence was a requirement. New China was
still there.
I think so. Yeah,
dude, we should definitely do it next for the first time that we're in Corvallis for a game all together.
It's right by the movie theater that's no longer there, right?
Yeah, it's right by the fancy hotel with the double sliding doors and the
comfort suites. The comfort suites. Yeah,
is that where we stayed?
Yeah, we could have gone. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings instead.
Oh yeah. Not a bad choice.
The same bartender is always working at that B-Dubs and always greets us like we had just been in yesterday. And it's like, we come to one game a year, sometimes 2. She's the best. I love that.
She's awesome. Because we're never in great shape when we go there.
There was that one time we started a day there. Like we got happy hour. Yeah, it was you and me. It was just me. It was me and you, Benny, right after Funky Paul Molina and Katie to the Goat got us those employee store passes. And I went to the employee store, drove straight down, hadn't drank anything yet, checked in, went to that B-Dubs and all of our new gear. And she was like, "Oh, check out the fresh new Nike shit." And we were like,
it was all that money we spent was
validated. It's totally validated. The bartender at B-Dubs thinks we look good. Yeah, I mean, it still has the tags on it, but that's what the kids are doing these days, right?
Oh man, I remember going to that employee store or the employee store and then getting a magic marker vape on the way down there. I don't know if I've ever been happier.
That was
like God.
Paradise.
I mean, a magic marker for Vegas, that is for sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Look farther. Like
it's like
every
a month away.
Casino, like little shop.
Yeah.
You should buy one at every casino shop you walk by.
Yeah.
And collectively finish it as a group before we hit the next casino.
Oh my God.
That'd be a challenge.
I'm not leaving the Flamingo. I am playing Buffalo Stampede.
We're the only team that are staying at the Flamingo.
I know, so we'll be up all night playing Buffalo, getting so rich.
And then having Terry pay for our buffets.
Benny, Steven said he's staying with you, and that's what he said to me. I don't know if he's talked to you about that.
He asked me, and I said yes, and then I didn't hear back. So
he is.
I have two beds. I have two beds.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And I don't a floor for.
I don't know. Super secret producer has booked his room, so. JP,
oh, you don't?
He will.
I'm pretty sure he will.
He will?
Yeah.
I know he's coming, but he might. I don't know, JP, if you got a room with two beds, but that
got a king.
Okay, then I think the Flamingo rooms come with those like tiny couches too.
Yeah, he can sleep on that, and he slept on worse.
Those little floral couches.
Yeah, he can do it. Well, I really wanted a strip view because last time I was in Vegas, I only had the courtyard view, and it was really
strip
boring.
View from the Flamingo is great. Yeah,
and it was the view of the swans or the flamingos.
The Ferris wheel.
I guess
that's cool.
Flamingos. No, because I couldn't see them.
The swans at the Flamingo.
It says
paint them. They paint them pink.
Swan view, and it's just like. The top of the trees, the top of those fake ass trees.
Were you were? Oh no, it was Aaron that was with me. Where someone was running from the police in that flamingo sanctuary, and then got shoved up against the glass wall and was arrested. And Aaron was like, "Whoa, let's watch this." And it was crazy. It was crazy to watch. The guy was like running so fast.
Seeing a guy go to flamingo jail, casino jail is what I meant to say. You're just in a jail cell surrounded by flamingos getting crazy. Yeah, that would be scary.
Yeah, all the poor behaving flamingos get tossed in the clink
These
as well.
Are the aggressive flamingos, the ones they gave steroids to intentionally on experiments.
Yeah. To make them extra pink.
All those, yeah. I feel like it's got to suck to be in captivity as any animal, but being in captivity in Vegas is probably even worse.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And being a flamingo where you're like, what leg do I stand on now? I've been standing on this leg for the last
This leg is so tired.
I don't have any muscle in this leg.
Have you seen how skinny it is? It makes Ben Wehage look like he has cankles.
A very, very specific joke. All right. Well,
very good.
Speaking of Vegas, I think it's safe to say we will be drinking a lot.
Yeah.
Which 2 out of the 3 of us do on this show from time to time. So I think we should probably get through
one is yawning.
Expedited beer segment.
Boring.
Benny's ready to get his power nap in so he can stay up until sunrise in Vegas as an almost 40-year-old. I don't know who you're trying to prove that to.
We have less than a month. I need to start practicing.
We have less than a month, Benny. No matter what happened, no matter what comes through your head in the next month, no matter what,
remember this one thing.
No matter what anyone says to you,
there is under no circumstances.
Is there any sex in the champagne room? And under no circumstances does it make any sense for you to put a 16-pound vest on your torso to try and get in the best shape of your life for the Vegas pools.
Do you think they'll even be open? I bet they won't.
You weren't even single then. Who were you trying to prove this to?
Oh, my 16-pound vest? I still have it.
Don't put it on. I forbid you from putting. I need you nimble,
put it on
fresh. Right now. And mobile. You can't have any you can have strained muscles at the end of the trip. You can't have strained muscles on that Thursday though.
Oh,
I need you ready to go.
Sad.
Dude, I am ready right now.
Good. You know why? Because you haven't worn that 16-pound vest in years.
It is collecting
You
dust.
haven't tried. You learned the hard way. JP, what are you drinking tonight?
Starburst.
Woo!
I think it's been a while since I had one. Maybe like a week.
I think you had one on the last episode.
Yeah, last
literally.
episode.
Yeah.
If
No,
not
that was a
before.
Stardust last episode, wasn't it?
I get
Before
them mixed
that,
up.
it was the Prophecies, that Belgian quadruple that super secret producer Skinder brought over, and
nice.
What ended up surprising everybody that it was like 11% or 12% or something. But this is just a good old Starburst.
Fashion Starburst. Nice. I am drinking a North Star Cream Ale.
That sounds Minnesota.
But
Yeah.
the name is Forgotten Star.
Forgotten Star Brewing Company, who employs your boy. Forgotten Star's name of the brewery.
It's called the North Star Cream Ale.
The North Star Cream
North Star
Ale. North Star Brewing Cream Ale. No.
Is
North
that like
Star
an
is the name of
homage
the cream ale.
to the North Stars moving to Dallas?
You are a dick.
Hey, I've been searching for a Minnesota North Stars snapback hat for years. You know I'm a loyal fan.
Oh, you do want? I know you have. That's the only.
When Benny wears a hat, he is loyal until he gets his next hat.
Until I learned that it's a fucking Walmart logo.
Walgreens. Let's be. Washington Nationals have a Walgreens logo, which isn't that
Walmart,
much.
Walgreens.
It's not that much cooler than a Walmart logo, but it is cooler than a Walmart logo.
Yeah.
It's better.
Sure,
Walgreens is better. Wall Drug would be the best. And I know that the Minnesota North Stars hat is the only piece of green and yellow apparel you're interested in, with the exception of your authentic Ricky Henderson jersey.
Yeah, I would balance it out with the Philadelphia Flyers hat.
Good logo.
Wait, so you'd wear both hats
and orange
at the same time?
No, I mean just like maybe one in the morning and one in the
this
evening.
way, one this way.
Oh.
Yeah.
One forward, one backwards.
Both folded up.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, you got to bend the bill upward.
Anyway, Benny, what are you doing? What are you doing with your
existing.
life? Okay,
I'm just here.
you're here. You look radiant as always.
Thanks.
Happy to have you here. Well, I would like to raise a toast then to the seniors of the Oregon State women's basketball team, and for taking care of business, getting that win. And I hope a WNIT trip is in their future. I just want to keep watching this team play basketball.
Dude,
Hell
their
yeah.
momentum. I hope so.
So cheers.
Dude,
And
not
Coach-
the tournament's not out of the question with the way they've been playing.
Hey,
I mean, not out of the question in terms of winning the West Coast Conference tournament.
Yeah.
Right. If they ran that, they could do it, and that would be awesome if they went back to the NCAA tournament in this year, where like so much has been taken away. If like that's the team that's able to do it, that would be fantastic.
There would have to be a 30 for 30 made for that.
ESPN would have to acknowledge we exist for that, but we could make a cool documentary for that to happen.
Yeah, 69 for 69.
69 for 69. The noisiest docu-series on the interwebs.
The first 8 episodes are Benny's squirt videos. We fell 61 short of doing
Right.
The best thing ever.
You guys got 61 more in you. Come on. Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah. We'll have to film it all these documentaries have to be filmed on my iPhone 4. Just like the original 8.
Right. That was really impressive filmmaking, though, for
Thank you.
that device and that era. And
many times I was editing it on my iPhone 4.
right.
I'm
They
still
couldn't get it over to my Mac.
Squirt did not pick up on that. They have absolutely no branding. I mean,
None.
like they don't do commercials or marketing or anything. We were doing it for them.
Right.
We were too early in the whole go viral and have, ambassador or guerrilla marketers, but
True.
we're still for hire, Squirt.
Yeah, we are.
Right.
The ideas are right here in my
ideas
head.
are right.
They never left JP's head.
No.
And we would
all
for
69.
sure spend the rest of our lives making marketing content and just anything celebrating the career of AJ Marotte for Oregon State women's basketball.
Legend.
Absolute legend. One of the few who stayed. Also, Kelsey Reese, who we celebrated on this senior day as well. Fellow seniors Tierra Bolden and Katarina Ferreira have confirmed that they will return for another season as they have more eligibility left. But AJ, Kelsey, and Sela Heidi, I believe, are all in their last year with the program.
Stabilizers, though.
Absolutely stabilized. AJ and Kelsey, players who were absolute contributors to that Elite Eight team and were the only ones who stayed. I, am not really a proponent ever of building statues, but they need a prominent place in a mural somewhere at Gill. Their jerseys should be sold at the bookstore permanently forever. Also because the women's basketball team of this era has had the best threads of any Oregon State sports team. So just these jerseys should be accessible. But yeah, they should be celebrated forever. This season started out slow and isn't the one anyone wanted after going to the Elite Eight and playing a good game against South Carolina. God, some days I wake up and been like, what if they had ran it back? I'm not gonna let it turn into one of those episodes, but fuck. But so for the two who did, we're indebted forever. I love AJ is so fun to watch because she can get hot at any second and has such a great stroke, such a beautiful jumper, and like always is super expressive with like how her game's going. Like she had a great back, like hit a three, back up, tongue out, like arms out kind of thing that I think it's still pinned on women's basketball's Instagram. Go check it out. It's just like the swag level. She's such a fun player to watch, and I'm so happy she stuck it out and is a one school player for her entire career.
So rare these days.
Yeah.
I love her belief, her self-belief, her confidence, her unwavering confidence too. Reminds me a lot of Clay. And it's a little bit like in the demeanor being like unshakable, unflappable, even when things aren't going well. It's like I can either dig myself out of this slump or like contribute other ways or both. But yet I'm going to keep doing what I do. And then when I do it again, I'm going to be happy about it. And I won't be demonstrative any other time. But when I'm going to celebrate myself, or my team, I'm going to make sure that it's known. I love it. I think that it's great. And that's her coming back to me was maybe the biggest piece of validation that, hey, there isn't a wrong choice in this situation. There isn't the right choice. There's just you as players and student athletes like have to make one. But if you value culture, you value coaching, and you value opportunity, like this is the spot to be, and I'm going to show you why. And I think she really did that and helped elevate that still being important. I think in college athletics, especially women's basketball, to say, yeah, just because this Elite Eight, like otherwise, I think everyone would look to Oregon State and be like, yeah, Elite Eight, they had a great run. They developed a ton of talent, but they're Oregon State. They're too small to be that good. They're too small to sustain a program at that level. And I, for one, think that Scott Rueck can absolutely do this a million times over if he wanted to. But that would have been a near death nail, I think, had everybody bailed.
Yeah.
And we had to rebuild with nothing. And it's a testament to her staying and really everyone who stayed. But if they had not, I think the Rueck, could have recruited pretty well. But what kind of challenges he'd be facing? He's talked about it. It's tough in this climate to recruit even. He still has to find the right people that will buy in, the people that he wants to bring into the program. But even then, I think if no one came back, then it would have just driven the narrative into a spiral.
Total square one rebuild. And it's going to be like
square one rebuild going into what you would consider lesser conference.
Right.
Yeah, so uphill into the wind.
Got left behind.
100%.
It'd be like we need 4 years to see any kind of results, like all over again.
And the results maybe would never have reached
And
the same capacity what they were at or going towards.
A program in a great place when Rueck got here, and they turned it into.
That's why I have all the trust in the world.
Incredible place. But yeah, 124 games in orange and black in the career of AJ Marotte, and 2 more at least in this regular season and the conference tournament. And I hope we get as many games as possible.
Looks like they're lined up for a 4 seed in that tournament too, which means that they would have to win 3 straight games.
3 games in 3 days, yeah.
3 games in 3 days,
I think,
to win it. Yep, the women's is set up the same as the men's.
The West Coast
to win 2 games.
No, because they go into the quarter.
In the championship.
Yeah.
2 games in the championship, and God, that'd be fun. I love how the West Coast Conference tournament is just like. It hasn't started yet, but it's already drunk. And
it absolutely gives every single game
a lot
value.
Of meaning. Right.
Yeah, it makes conference play matter.
It does, because like if you're looking at the men's side, just because I've been watching that a little bit closer, you have Pacific playing Portland, for example. Like that game matters in a normal season or in a normal conference. Like that game doesn't really matter. It just means if you're playing the first or second best team,
right?
You know,
So, but having a game off. I mean, you're every 2 levels up, you're earning a bye.
Yeah, I love it. I think more conferences should do it this way.
Yeah, very smart.
Yeah,
it's definitely fun.
They got smarties in this conference.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And she's been on a good scoring run too of late. Kennedy Schuler has also been balling, and Kennedy's not a senior and will ostensibly be back. Other teams will try to poach her, but I would imagine they tried a lot last year for that. Her development has been great to watch through this. So they're playing well at the right time,
and sometimes that's all that matters.
And I will never ever bet against Scott Rueck.
How could you?
Right.
I will say JP was naming things that you have to appreciate AJ Marotte and the rest of the girls that stuck around for. Mm-hmm. And I know we dance around it, but I do think that you have to add loyalty to that. Something that they value is loyalty. Because we talked about it. We understand why Talia and Reagan and company left Oregon State. We get it. But at the end of the day, they value things higher than loyalty. And I think that's it says something about a person. And I think AJ should be celebrated for that, as well as the other girls that stayed too.
Right.
Yeah, it's commendable.
AJ's jersey in the Beaver store forever.
For sure.
Why not? Number 11's a sick number anyway. Like, come on.
Number 11 is a sick number. Arvidas.
Arvidas Sabonis and AJ Marotte and Klay Thompson. Yeah, there's another Clay input, but also like I know too. Like last year, she wasn't fully healthy and started every game still. Just a baller, tough as nails, and I'm so happy we got to have her. Like they say, we didn't deserve you, AJ, but I'm happy we have you, and I hope we get at least a few more fun chapters. This team has always been nails in the postseason, and I wouldn't be surprised if they've got a few things up their sleeves again.
Hell yeah.
Not saying, for sure tournament run or conference tournament run or whatever, but just happy that we get to watch these young women play basketball in the orange and black a little bit more. And keeping it with basketball, some more historic news made on the men's side. Michael Rataj, whose incredible season continues. The Beavs got a road sweep for the first time since 2021, I believe. Not the most convincing of road sweeps at Pepperdine, at San Diego. Not great gyms, not great atmospheres. Not the best performances overall by us, but great games by Rataj, and he did win Conference Player of the Week. He is the first Oregon State men's basketball player to win Conference of the Week 3 times in one season since Gary Payton did it. So a good time for him to be playing his best ball. And right now the Beavs are sitting at 5th in the conference standings. And I want to kick it now to Benny, who hit up the group chat earlier this week and thinks 5th is better than 4th. Even though we mentioned the aforementioned buys that are grouped by even numbers, is Benny onto something?
I think
or is he on something?
He's on a hinge.
Is it
smoking
both?
the H?
In the H. Which one? You guess.
He and Flow Baseball are hot boxing the truck.
That's right.
With a nice H right now. Benny, why do you think it's better for Oregon State to finish 5th and 4th?
I think Oregon State, especially under Tinkle, has a tendency to stumble out of the gates, whether that's at the beginning of the season or beginning of a game, or in this case, the beginning of a conference tournament. It just seems like that is the identity sometimes of Tinkle's teams. And I think being able to go down to the conference tournament and have a game against a team that you're going to be significantly better than, it's probably going to be between, I think, Pepperdine and Portland, although Pacific and Washington State could be in the mix.
Washington State falling off is a weird
They've been
thing.
1-8 in their last 9 last time I checked. I have not been paying attention to what's going on up in Pullman, but something's happening.
A lot of turmoil. Yeah.
Right. So you get matched up with a team that you should be able to beat.
No matter who it is.
Look, if you can't beat one of those 4 teams, you weren't going to beat Gonzaga and St. Mary's.
So it's like the argument is you get this game against the other thing is you get to add another win to the resume, which maybe doesn't move the needle a ton, but it's a difference between, say, they split their next 2 games. You're 21-10, I believe the record would be. They're 20-9 right now, right? So then you get to say you have 25 total wins as opposed to 24. And every margin counts, I guess, when you're trying to split hairs. If like you ended up making it to the conference tournament game and losing it, then that would be 1 additional win. That's because if you win the conference tournament, you go. Yeah, I get what you're saying. And it's like if you play a bad first half against Pacific, you can rebound from that. If you play a bad first half against Santa Clara or Loyola, you're in a tougher spot.
But here's the thing is the winner of the game that the 5th seeded team would play in, which I think is against the winner of the 8-9 game. So the winner of that game, essentially the first game that Oregon State would play, is going to play the 4th seeded school. So no matter if Santa Clara or Oregon State flip that 4th or 5th seed, if Santa Clara or Oregon State beats that lower seeded school, they're going to play each other anyways.
Right. And
that's sort of the point. And having a game under your belt on a neutral site that's sort of new.
A warm-up.
It's a
warm-up or a knockout.
Right.
Yes.
And there could
get up or shut up.
They could be rusty, having sat for however many days.
I think in college athletics, specifically college basketball, you not seeing the court for a week when the team you're playing saw the court yesterday is a significant disadvantage.
Because it would
especially on neutral court.
It would be, they'd if they make it to the 4th, the last regular season game Sunday, and I think your first game after that would be Saturday, which would be the longest you've sat between games since a while ago.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're on something, even though you might be technically on something. Like, I don't think it totally matters. Like you said, if you can't win the 5-9 against Portland, a team, especially when you just lost to Portland at Portland,
right?
Who lost to Santa Clara by almost 50 points. You're not doing shit anyway. So while these next 2 games I think are a great opportunity, you have San Francisco on senior night, which is, if depending on when you're listening to it, probably tonight. Maybe it was last night. And we won. We did it.
Yeah.
we beat the Gales.
Manifest that shit, Terry.
And then at St. Mary's, like, it's honestly
if we win at St. Mary's, we're winning the actual tournament.
We're winning every tournament.
We're winning it all.
That you don't really have anything to lose going into that game at St. Mary's.
No.
So fuck it. I would actually kind of be mad if we win at St. Mary's. I would
like
be
the
annoyed.
Was wasted.
I would be annoyed if this road woe thing happened so much to the point that it almost makes it you can't get in that large bid. but then it's like, oh, we fucked around and beat St. Mary's at St. Mary's. I'd be more happy than annoyed, but I'd be a little bit like, this motherfucker. Come on, Wayne.
Well, unless he figured it out and then it carries over at some point.
Exactly.
Next season.
And they never lost again.
Yeah, that's right. The Elite Eight run.
So yeah, that would just be funny. So much of being an Oregon State fan is finding the moments where you just have to laugh. Like just laugh. And there's been a good number of those. I've had a great time.
You mean like when we hit a buzzer beater to advance in the conference tournament and then the world shut down for a year?
God damn it. Yeah, that is another one to just laugh.
That's what I think about, at least.
Yeah, I remember tweeting, just going to tell my kids this was the 2020 national championship.
Yeah.
Oregon State, Utah. That's believable in another universe, right?
Yeah.
But then
that's
also
how much ESPN
losing one of the best players
us.
to ever play at Oregon State, at least statistically, after that point with Trace Tinkle.
Oh,
that was his final game.
Yeah. That being Trace's final game is so shitty.
Yeah. Is he still playing professionally?
Yeah.
Dude, Stevie's making moves. He's over in Europe, I think. But he's like putting numbers up, I'm pretty sure.
He's in the Olympics.
He was in the Olympics.
Puerto Rico. Yeah.
It was crazy seeing him on the floor against like LeBron and Durant and
right.
Wait, speaking of Olympics, and before we get to the gridiron, I think we should talk about the proposed soccer model.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Dude, so
explain that a little bit.
We also don't need to talk about the San Diego State athletic director stuff. I just threw that in there because it's all spec anyway. But this proposed soccer model, I think, is interesting and there's more to chew on with this talking point. But
and potentially more ramifications.
Yeah.
Oh, supposedly there's been discussions with U.S. Soccer Federation, USSF, with both the Big Ten and the ACC to launch a pilot program that would take men's college soccer and turn it into a 32 team year-round league where they would essentially break off from the NCAA and become a feeder academy for the MLS.
Be so sick.
It's a great idea.
It's a great idea. I think I'm actually impressed that they are grabbing, hold of their own destiny in a way, because everyone's been talking about what's going to happen to Olympic sports once football breaks off. And it's a fair question, but this kind of model to me is so much more feasible than even football breaking off, for one. And two, it maybe makes the most sense for football to let them do it first.
Yeah, and that's a great point.
See the errors that they make, see the ways that they had it easy.
Well, and also to that point. Yeah, and also to that point, right? Like you have USSF that would be backing you, which would have an idea of how to roll this out, as opposed to football, who would just sort of be going into it blindly.
This has been the college soccer problem for a while, because it's and this was something that Jurgen Klinsmann, if you remember him, when he was the former German national team player and German national team coach who coached the USMNT for a while, he hated college soccer and wouldn't embrace it at all, and didn't want talented American prospects to play in college, because it's just that it's like a 3-month season and it's hard for that to sync up with professional soccer and this the way that it works, and
the rest of the world has year-round training academies for youth soccer,
but
essentially
it was also it's difficult to be hey, in just the American society and zeitgeist, just be hey, don't pursue college athletics. But it was just this kind of weird thing where college soccer literally didn't fit anyone's calendar. It didn't fit MLS's calendar. It didn't fit the FIFA international calendar. It just fit other college athletics calendar. but I don't think this really changes anything. It's college soccer, which is its own niche society and can certainly exist. It's not like, oh, people used to attend Oregon State soccer games, but now it's drawn out and there are more games over a longer period of time. Like, I think this would be great for.
Well, the investment would definitely be bigger.
It wouldn't be competing with football.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
like it would still have games in the fall, but
spring.
You spring and like elite, like you can play winter soccer in Oregon. It's not the most pleasant, but it's a lot like playing December games in England, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's exactly right.
Yeah, I think if they're able to do this, I would be curious if is it true promotion relegation? Because how does Oregon State Oregon State's certainly good enough to be like, you're not putting an elite.
Well, the pilot run is supposed to just be 30.
Sure.
It'd be like a 32-team league.
So I think it's essentially Big Ten, ACC, Oregon State, and San Diego State. And then after that, who knows, right? Like they're going to give it, supposedly proposing that it would be a trial run, pilot program.
Right.
I don't know how you go back from it once you're in, to be honest. So you're kind of stuck at the mercy of whoever runs it and wants to decide if it's relegation or if there's more teams or whatever, or like you're either all in or nothing. I feel like if you do decide to go forward with it, but I find it interesting, the timing of this, because forget the football stuff for a second. Like we're about to host the World Cup.
Yeah, that's a great point.
We have at least in recent history, some of the best individual soccer players that come in the world come from our country. Some of the best individual soccer players in the world play in our country, but we somehow have never been able to like connect the dots in a way, like how to develop people and see them rise into elite, status. But I think a lot of that, again, is what you're saying is we're the only country really that has college athletics that lead to professional athletics as a pathway.
Right.
Every other country has academies and clubs and things that they develop those players. And soccer is such a global game that you're behind the eight ball if you don't have that. And college is kind of that, but it's not, because like you were saying, Terry, like it doesn't align well with the timelines or the schedules and the rigor, the training and the focus. Other sports can, because it's a season, it's a semester, and it's as long as every other professional league, and all the other professional leagues are essentially U.S. made, or at least North America made. Soccer is different, and I think it's going to be like it's the right idea, it's the right move in the right direction. Well, what this means for other sports, I don't know. What it means for women's soccer, I think is maybe the biggest question.
A thing too, but what this gets at is kind of solving the problem. Is there are kids everywhere who are faced with the question of, should I join this team's academy as whatever age? And there are a lot of high school kids who are like, oh, I've been invited to an MLS academy. I'm 16, 17 or 18. Do I do that or do I go to college? And then those parents are often talking their kids through, do you take sometimes not a ton of money, but a spot with within a professional organization, or go a route that is probably less likely to get you to a place like MLS or another league, but also work towards your degree? This would solve that conflict where you're playing in essentially an academy program and you'd still be on that path towards MLS. And look, guys get drafted from college soccer all the time, but also it is that sport where a lot of guys go pro at 16, and it feels weird to be like, all right, well, I'm going to go to college.
But maybe they won't. Maybe they will go to college now
and play in front of 20 people
but maybe not
for
if the
3
investment's
months.
there.
Yeah,
that's right. That's what I'm thinking too.
And the growth of the sport in North America.
But that's the difficult decision that they struggle with now, and this would solve that. And you could still go, like if you had the opportunity, like you could be like, oh, I'll go. But college soccer would then be built like more. There's more development. There'll be more games. It fits into just like logistically a bit better. And then, God forbid, if things don't work out, I've already like been at an institution where I'm like working towards a degree and doing other things as well. Because it's been such an either or thing in the past with college soccer.
Yeah, I think that you have to look at it from like the macro of how this is going to shape out from a league, I guess, perspective and how they're going to roll it out, but also how Oregon State is going to roll it out. Because JP, you mentioned that, like, how do you market this? And maybe it's not something where it's just 20 people in the stands. And, you know, I might be grasping here, but Oregon State is becoming sort of a magnet program for AI learning and bringing top tier kids. I mean, that's where Jensen's putting his money in at Oregon State. And so you already have a pretty big international community at Oregon State, but that's going to grow. I mean, the interest is going to be in soccer over other sports, typically for kids that are coming in internationally. So I think Oregon State finds itself at sort of a unique crossroads here of how much do you want to invest in this soccer program? And I mean, you could make Paul Lorenz a really fun place to go see games. Yeah. And if it's 9 months out of the year, like there could be a real big culture that develops around that. And
it's worth it as an investment then. 100%. It gets use almost year round. Curious though, like
that's a great point.
If the academies, if the colleges essentially become academies or, you know, like training teams for the MLS, an associated MLS club, does that essentially mean that recruitment becomes the MLS like draft? Like not in the same sense, but like does it eradicate the draft because you're recruiting them to your team?
I don't think it would eradicate the
soccer and the draft never seem to like align.
Yeah. But I think
agree.
It would be an academy for the league. I don't think it would be like a regional thing where like it would be natural that like there'd be a pipeline from Oregon State to Portland Timbers or a program like Washington to the Seattle Sounders or something like that. I think it would be 32-team league. It has a tie to Major League Soccer, but I don't think there'd be a way for teams to either like claim the rights to players until their college careers finish up. But also like, I mean, there's some stuff with like college hockey, the way it always worked. It's like you got drafted and then you went and played college hockey, but your rights remained with the team that drafted you. So like you could get like this happened with Baba Ganoush's brother. He was a second round draft pick out of high school, went and played 3 years at North Dakota, and then went and played for the Tampa Bay Lightning, who drafted him in the second round when he was out of high school. And they like kind of kept tabs on him while he was at University of North Dakota. And obviously there is, you know, some like communication, but he was still other than just knowing what professional team he was headed to, was just like another college athlete. So I don't know if it would take on a thing like that, or if it would just be kind of like a free for all. You can sign with teams once it's done. There'd be a lot of things to figure out and organize, but there's a lot of different options they could take.
Well, they have to move the draft then. If it stays, I mean, if they ran, because the draft's mid-spring.
The draft is in January now, so that would move for sure.
Oh, it is?
The timing of the draft would
be mid-season.
Yeah.
If they went year round.
So like MLS,
meaning if you are the star player on a team.
FIFA has wanted MLS to change its schedule forever, but it's just there's so many cold weather cities where that is difficult to handle,
especially when you're still trying to get a footing.
Yeah, more so than England. It's just like because the teams in Canada have built great followings and people don't necessarily want to go to games in domes. That makes it complicated. So it wouldn't necessarily fit super cleanly, but there is a way that you could do it, and it would kind of function as like a mid-season transfer window, the way that kind of works in European leagues, where a bunch of teams acquire new players in January.
It could kill a college program season if their best players go pro mid-season.
It would be the end of that college season, but mid-MLS season is when they could go pro. That's how I think the easiest.
Well, I mean, baseball does that,
and baseball does that too. So yeah, like look at baseball.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. Yeah. Imagine how big of a fan you would be of like the Tampa Bay Lightning if you were like in college, knowing that you were going to be playing for them after college.
Right,
that'd be so cool.
Yeah,
or if you rooted Yeah, if you rooted for Oregon State and they, worse, if you didn't follow MLS, but you rooted for Oregon State because you go there, but you knew every player on Oregon State was going to go to the Timbers.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that would be like that would be a thing too. Like when the Timbers got Danny Mwanga, that was, Danny played well for them, and I think he's, all intents and purposes, had a good professional career. But it was also awesome that they acquired Portland native and Oregon State star. Like, people went to games to go see Danny after that. Yep. And there is kind of a special sauce to like figuring out like, all right, when do we go get like the hometown kid or try and capitalize on a kid's, like college celebrity and bring it to our own. And MLS, it is a league where like that can happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
sure.
Portland can't just bring a kid from Oregon or Oregon State because they're likable and decent enough on the court, because they still need to be one of like the 30 best basketball players in the world to truly make a difference. In MLS, obviously, soccer, there's just more players you need. There's it's a different season. It's not the best league in the world, so you're going deeper into talent pools. And it can allow for those, personal connections and stories to be more relevant to on-field performance. It'd be fun. This would be really, really fun if it came out. And we're undeniably a pro fun podcast.
And I think
I hope this happens.
Out of all the professional sports leagues, like MLS is by far the most willing league to take risks.
Yeah,
and invest in something that may work, it may not. And so I think that it wouldn't necessarily be the most difficult thing to get MLS behind this 32 team league. And I think there could be some really interesting, really fun things that could come out of this. And I'm so glad that Oregon State's part of it. That's awesome.
Presumably, yeah. But you have to wonder if it's going to cost Oregon State more money. There's no way they're doing it.
Watch Oregon bring back its soccer team just to be part of this.
And then just not be able to compete.
Yeah.
And have no people show up for their own games.
I need to pee really bad, so you guys decide what you want to talk about next, and I will just join in halfway.
Let's do baseball. I haven't even looked at
the doc. Let's talk about the diamond.
Let's talk about the diamond. Started off
Did
great.
you get to watch? Did you get to watch? Penny, I have to say this, and I mean this with all the love and respect, but every time you mention a team has a special, feels like something special is brewing, it backfires.
I'm going off Twitter.
It backfires immediately.
I don't get it. And I don't get it with this team. This team was so dominant. So dominant. Well, but thus is baseball.
Yeah, it's baseball. And also, like, the Minnesota game, I didn't get to see it live, but from what I gathered, there was like an immense and crazy amount of unearned runs that were scored by Minnesota. So that just feels like something to clean up internally, not like a talent lapse or gap.
Yeah.
Which has me feel a little bit better that it was now and not later in the season. But we need to stack wins like wherever we can get them. I mean, our RPI, I don't know how it's going to get perceived. Like
we didn't drop much in the rankings.
Yeah, but will we later? It doesn't. The sample size amongst all teams now is pretty equitable. But as our season progresses, and we are playing against teams that maybe this schedule is pretty strong as an independent. But like, what happens later? Like, people are going to come back and point to that Minnesota game and not look at why. They'll just look at the final box score. And I just feel like there needs to be almost a sense of urgency amongst these players still, even though they're probably exhausted.
I think that's fair.
If they've dealt with this for 3 years, like, it needs to still be there because this is the first year running the independent schedule. And like, we don't really know how it's going to go in the eyes of the committee yet. I mean, there's no consultants that are on the committee and go, good schedule. Well done. Yeah. If you guys have a pretty standard season, your RPI will be very strong. Like, nobody knows. And every win matters, especially the ones that, you really had on the schedule and marked as a W.
You should have won both of those games. You should have won both those games. And just, to play devil's advocate, Virginia had lost before they played us. I think they were 3-2 after the game with us. And I forget who they lost to, but it was someone that was not very good. Texas A&M, who's the number 1 ranked team, just lost to Texas State last night. And so my point here is that this isn't basketball or football where it's a huge upset. It is a little bit different, but I agree with you, JP. There does an independent schedule and no conference tournament does yield some challenges that you didn't face last year. And you have to get those games against the Minnesotas and really the Oklahomas of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma is not having, although the record is halfway decent.
So Virginia lost in their first game of the year to Michigan. That was a game in extra innings that was played in Puerto Rico, the Puerto Rico Challenge.
Lucky.
I love surprise, but that would be Puerto Rico in February is great. In Round Rock, Virginia lost to us. They beat Minnesota 4-2 in a close game, and they lost to Oklahoma 5-4 in 12 innings. And Oklahoma in the rankings that came out, we are at 9, I think. Oklahoma is 15-16. That Minnesota loss is obviously tough, but we were all kind of surprised. We're like, Oklahoma's RPI is 312 or whatever it was we talked about last week. Oklahoma might have a good club, and Virginia may not be as good as possible, but also, I think you're going to drop games, and the sky's not falling.
Yeah, as I understand, Round Rock was freezing temps too. So, and not to make excuses, but that does play into it a little bit.
The game times were changed. Games were canceled. Start times were moved around. There's a lot of young talent on this team. They're not going to be completely on fire every single game. I'm personally, I'm not worried, but what JP said, I think there needs to be a sense of urgency, and you need to act like you're not going to have any favors done for you because
they're not.
Yeah. And you shouldn't expect that when you're at Oregon State anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Who do they have coming up? I don't even know.
They go to Arlington for Auburn, Baylor, and Ohio State. So they're still in Texas. Okay. I think the
SEC, Big 12, Big 10. All right.
And then the home opener, Friday, March 7th at Goss against San Diego.
Yeah, be there, because I've been talking a lot of shit about how Oregon's not filling their stadium.
Maybe you should drive down then, Benny.
Maybe I will.
Just get tickets and just bring people for free. Just be like, hey, you're coming to this baseball game. When Kevin Costner kidnapped James Earl Jones in Field of Dreams.
The Caraway van.
Hey, you're coming to this game at Fenway with me right now.
It might be pretty nice actually in Corvallis the next Friday.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Maybe sunny and high of 59 on Thursday.
10 more degrees.
Dude, that is spring term turn up weather.
Yeah, that is Ho Hill weather.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
In a derogatory way. I'm just saying.
No, that's the name of the hill.
It's supposed to be 63 and sunny here on Friday.
That's spelled H-E.
This Friday?
Dude, my power went out for the first time in 5 years because it was so windy and stormy today.
Ho Hill is named for a French explorer who discovered Corvallis. It's Heaux.
Yeah. He actually just discovered that there was a hill behind Weatherford and was like, whoa, where did this come from? I thought this was a dining hall.
And he smoked pot with Weatherford Hall.
Yeah. I love Wethy, my man. We called him Wethy.
Oh, man. I got real paranoid one time when I smoked weed at that little cafe outside Weatherford Hall.
What was that cafe called? I want to say Bites, but that was in the MU.
No,
was it the Weatherford?
Bites it was or something. It was like Bites. It was like Bites.
Was it related? It was okay.
Yeah. For a bit, it was.
I don't know, but I was with the Funky Paul Molina, and it was a little scurry for a second.
Little scurry. We talked about New China Buffet and the Random Cafe at Weatherford. This is the most random Corvallis food reference episode.
Yeah.
We've
deep
had
cuts.
Like,
hey, if we are in the deep cuts of food in Corvallis, shout out to the lady that worked at Panda Express in the MU quad, because she was the goat.
Remember when she was like, there. We make more than orange chicken. Why do you kids only order orange chicken? I thought you were about to go hard on fungs for a second if we were talking about deep dives, as you were the only person who frequented fungs, and you were also the only person who got mad when fungs turned into a Chipotle at the height of Chipotle popularity.
Fuck Chipotle. I almost threw up in a Chipotle after the Wu-Tang concert we went to in Minneapolis, which was before when we went to the Diamond,
the new China Diamond Club buffet. The
new Diamond,
the new China Diamond Club
buffet. That's the 12th buffet that Terry's been to.
No, that's tied for the original New China at 6. Oh God. Well, Benny and I might see Wu-Tang in Portland this summer.
They're doing it. Come back.
They just announced their last tour, so with
Run the Jewels, and I'm also a huge fan of.
I've never seen it.
I saw that yesterday. My wife was like, "Didn't you already see them last time you were in Vegas?" And I was like, "Yeah,
it's not the same."
So you're gonna go again? Yeah,
right. She was like, Wu-Tang again,
and you were like,
again,
again and again. Right. My reaction was,
at least one more time.
Sam was like, I thought Wu-Tang was forever. And I was like, Wu-Tang forever, or I guess until they're too fucking old to keep going on tour. Damn it. They'll still do shows and they'll still perform solo, but it's not going to be a tour anymore. And I get it. They're like in their 50s.
County fairs.
Wu-Tang at a county fair would be amazing.
That would be the best thing to watch.
Yeah. Casinos and county fairs, man. That's where they all retire to.
That's where I like, because I don't necessarily love arena shows. When Benny and super secret producer Skinner and I saw him in Minneapolis, it was at like a concert venue it was like a small arena. Like the Armory is not where you could play an NBA game. And when we saw they were good, I thought they were good at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, but it was, it wasn't the same kind of intensity.
We were like front row,
right?
And
I like a concert
in Vegas.
I like
literally. Our backrest was the fucking wall.
It's different. A concert in a place that has seats is so much different than a concert at a place that does not have seats.
Yeah,
and that is
also a concert where you can have real weed is different than a concert where you can smoke 4 joints and not feel anything. Like I did at the Wu-Tang show in Las Vegas.
That's right. Yeah. You buy weed on the strip, you idiot. You don't buy weed on the strip. Everybody knows that.
Aaron Stevens warned me, and I did not adhere to his warnings.
No, you're going to have to. It's like the Tom Segura bit. You got to be dangerous about buying weed in Vegas.
Got to get in a stranger's car.
Daddy used to get in cars with strangers. Was 7-Eleven closed or something? What happened? You won't be the only one.
Maybe I'll just bring a weed pen.
You'll have an entourage.
Yeah.
It'll work. I think we can call it another perfect episode, you guys.
10 out of 10.
Number 174.
Number 174. What was that, JP?
10 out of 10.
Oh, 10 out of 10. I thought you meant you have. I didn't know if you said you had anything else to say or add.
I have 10 more things to say.
10 more things.
Each one is going to take 10 minutes.
And each one's about a different buffet of my 10 out of 10 buffets.
Hey, actually, I am curious. What's the best buffet you've ever been to?
It could have been Bacchanal. Like, I remember that still being a really great experience.
It is considered the best buffet in Vegas.
One time in Corvallis, I got high with the homie Ehoy, who actually people called Gumby because he looked like Gumby. Random that we talked about Gumby earlier. And we walked to that KFC on 9th, not knowing that there was a KFC buffet in progress. And I can tell you KFC buffet goes pretty hard.
Where was this?
It was the KFC on 9th. It occasionally had a buffet out where it's just like the KFC menu buffet style. And
JP, were you aware of this?
We went other times.
Popcorn chicken. Good Lord.
We went there other times and it like never happened again. We couldn't find them advertising it. It was just one night freshman year. We were like,
you guys were just too high and you thought it was a buffet, but you were actually in the
It was really it was really just a family's order. That was sitting on the table.
It was a buffet. I promise this. It was incredible.
Pat Ryan's family comes out. Wow.
It's probably, a couple different hotels, but Bacchanal's up there. I think I was just not, 100% at Bacchanal. I don't recall feeling it was like 9 p.m. at night. There's no way I was that hungover.
You had taken a nap right before we had to wake you up.
Maybe I didn't feel great, but whatever.
It happens.
I remember having a great time.
We'll go again.
Yeah, we will.
Someday. What does Baba Ganoush have planned? Does he have this whole thing planned out?
So much.
Okay.
Just get ready.
We're ready when you told me.
We're going to go to the exact – we're going – of course, it's the same Topgolf. We have the exact same bays reserved so that it'll be the same angle and the same wind resistance or similar to, so that we can just continue the competition that we started at your bachelor party.
Nice. I can strain my wrist again from hitting
You were sneaking up on us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we don't have stadium swim reservations because it's either you pay $100 a person for general admission, like we did at your bachelor party, Benny, which was fun. Yeah. But during March Madness,
that's tough.
The cabanas basically start at like $5,000 for like 3 hours. With some of them going as much as $25,000.
What?
So if we want to go to stadium swim, it's going to be we're going to split the group and people will just have to pay $100 a pop to go and sit on the floor again, which wasn't the worst.
Or we can just not get a sunburn and we can go to a sports book.
Well, there's
at Flamingo and play the nearby Buffalo Stampedes.
The sportsbook at the Flamingo sucks. We're not going to the Flamingo sportsbook. Well, we will.
Fucking heaven.
There'll be plenty of time at the Flamingo. Plenty of time at a lot of places.
March Madness, Vegas, playing Buffalo, and smoking from a fucking magic marker. Dude, doesn't get better.
It'll be unreal.
So I'm going today early.
With the boys?
Maybe
I'll try it. With the boys?
Come on down early.
Right.
I might. I've been working real hard at work. They can give me an extra day.
They fucking better.
Yeah.
They should.
They better.
Right. Absolutely. All right. Well,
we better end the episode.
And I realized I didn't shout out anybody or their social handles, but we don't really care, right?
It's
Jay. Yeah, Jay.
Smoking Jay. So I'll just do it now. Thank you as always. Dear listener, we love you. We appreciate you. We see you. We hear you. Get your ass down to Corvallis on March 7th for the baseball home opener against San Diego. Benny will buy your ticket and your new China buffet and your vape for the evening. So
magic marker.
How much does it get in?
Magic marker.
Magic marker provided. It's only available in the color purple. Shout out Alice Walker. From all of us at Belligerent Beavs, including myself, Terry Horseman, at Terry Horseman on Twitter, at terry.j.horseman.bluesky.social.whatever on Blue Sky. And at Terrence Horstman on Instagram.com. I am joined, as I always am, by my esteemed best friends from college, Benjamin Lawrence, Sebastian Wehage. He is Benny with the good quaff, a.k.a. Benny Bedlam, because he's fucking crazy, folks, a.k.a. Benny Bull Game, a.k.a. Benny Stop Yawning, a.k.a. Benny Blast Off, a.k.a. Benny Burner, at Benny L. 1986 on all platforms. And the man steering the ship on the ones and twos, keeping us headed in the right direction, JP Bertram, at the Trill J on Twitter. That's at the _Trill_J, because he's too trill to be real. At JP Bertram on Instagram.com, at jp.bertram.gobeeves.app. starburst.com on Blue Sky. And follow us for gosh darn sakes.org at Belligerent Beavs on Twitter, at Belligerent Beavs everywhere else. BelligerentBeavs.com, BelligerentBeavs.com/merch. Also, shout out to our homies at Seamheaded because it is baseball season again, and I have not been shouting out Seamheaded, but I also don't remember. I don't remember the last time Seamheaded paid us. All right, I haven't been shown a receipt of Seamheaded sending us money recently, so I don't know that I'm legally obligated to shout out Seamheaded. I'm doing this for a friend. Because I love Pat the Bat Ryan, and I love what he does at Seamheaded. And if I'm legally obligated to say this again, let me know. Damn it, Pat. It doesn't change how I feel about Seamheaded's products either way. Seamheaded.com for all baseball enthusiasm manners, especially the Benjamin Lawrence Sebastian Wehage customized Ricky Henderson jersey. That's a Ricky Henderson jersey that Benny designed to evoke Benny's spirit while smoking a magic marker. It's the coolest jersey. It's the most complicated jersey. All the patterns. You can only buy it at Seamheaded and Dan Flashes.
The patterns are so complicated.
Anyway, this episode's gotten so complicated. It's time to just kill the goddamn thing. This has been episode 174 of the Belligerent Beavs podcast. We have been the Belligerent Beavs. You have been our favorite listener. Thank you so much for spending time with us. And remember, no matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter what they take away, you cannot spell chop 'em without hope. So chop 'em.
Chop 'em.
Chop 'em.
And Beavs back, baby.
And if the baseball team this last weekend has you a little down, just smoke a hinge and it'll be all right.